It's that button. Alright, go.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Snyder and Sons machine shop, woodworking shop,
Modeling shop,
rod storage, modeling shop. This afternoon we're going to have a brief overview of a engine reassembly. So we thought we'd share this with some friends and families. Joseph is our photographer. He's perhaps starting to look at this engine. It is a small block Chevy V8, 307 cubic inches. We're going to have a brief demonstration of how far along we are. Joseph, come down this way and maybe take a look at the workstation we have set up. It's very important to have your shop clean and organized. We made this work table out of a $6 piece of particle board that was painted and covered with plastic, so it's easy to keep clean and wipe down. Over here we have a workstation for tearing things apart or putting piston rings together. And we have another workstation for more brutal work that we can pound on things. So, Joseph, why don't you focus in on this engine? Notice that the engine is quite nicely protected with this plastic bag. Again, shop environments need to be very clean at all times. Vacuum cleaners, plenty of sweeping up. But always to have the parts that have an oil film on them or are undergoing assembly covered up. This handy bag was supplied by the machine shop that actually worked on this engine. We dropped off the parts, they cleaned them in a special bath, they bored out the cylinders, 30,000s, they turned the cranks. They put new pistons on the connecting rods and supplied a number of other parts. Also balanced all of the rotating equipment. The rotating assembly, they call it. The machine shop is S&R Machine in Somerville, South Carolina. And I would highly recommend you talk to Paul at S&R Machine. Very competitive pricing, very informative. Joseph, we're going to turn the engine over on the wonderful stand that is an absolute requirement. Luckily, we have some friends that supplied this very handy piece of kit. And you'll see that the crankshaft is in, the oil pump is in, the timing gear and camshaft is in, and we're getting ready to put the oil pan on, the timing cover, and the heads. This is a fairly straightforward assembly. I did want to point out this very handy tool that was manufactured in this shop to help drive on the oil pickup pan that fits with a pressed fit into the oil pump. Very simple device, but very necessary to get a good fit around that little piece of the machine. So, what else is worth showing? Maybe just a couple of points. The most difficult part of the project so far has been installing the pistons with the piston rings. And I'd like to show you two pieces of tooling that were used, maybe three if we include the hammer. Once the pistons rings are on the pistons, they of course want to expand and they need to fit down in the cylinders. So to insert the piston, one type of piston ring compressor is this device. It's a metal band that tightens around the piston, compresses the rings, and in theory you should be able to drive the piston into the cylinder. Now that worked from one of the 8 pistons. we became quite frustrated because the rings have a tendency to pop out at this interface. And actually, as I looked at this, perhaps it's suitable for less high performance machines. For us, it's a piece of junk. Now, what we did was make an upgrade with a different type of compressor that works in this direction. The spacing allows the pistons, the rings to compress more closely, and we had very little problem. I would highly recommend the additional resources to purchase one of these type of devices. Okay, right, moving down to the workstation, we have of course our tool set up. We are getting ready to put the new heads on the machine. You can see the valves and the valve springs are already in place. These heads have very smooth surfaces. They call them very free-flowing. Turbulence with the air intake and the exhaust affects the performance of the machine. So this was a very nice setup, assembly supplied again by S&R Machine. And finally, you can see we're moving towards painting some of the parts so that our machine will indeed look to be a high-performance piece of kit, which we are looking forward to. So we will have updates further on as we go, and we are thankful that we have a place to work and the resources to have some fun and learn about one last point. When we're working on these machines, something absolutely invaluable is this wonderful book, How to Rebuild Your Small Block Chevy V8 by David Vissard. An invaluable tool. Thank you very much, David. If you undergo a project like this, make sure you have a well-documented book to help you along. Good, we'll talk to you later. Goodbye.